Welcome to Module 3. We're going to show you how to make a timeline and import some bins with a couple features that'll help you out. So once you create a project, you have a grayed out timeline, your playhead doesn't move, and unless you brought media in, you'd have to add it down and it will make a timeline for you. So you can make a timeline by hitting Command N or going up to File, New Timeline. And this gives you this dialog box that lets you set the starting time code, name your timeline, number of video and audio tracks, as well as the type. And if you want it based on clips you might have in the bin or an empty timeline. And then if you need to override your project settings and change your format somehow, or your monitoring out, or your output scaling and your color parameters. But for now, we'll use project settings by default and hit create. So now the interface becomes active. We get our video tracks, our mixers open, and in our media bin, we have timeline 1. If we switch it to thumbnail view, you can see it's got this little icon here that looks like the interface, and the info tells you the name of the timeline. You could also double click it and rename it. You can right click it and it'll let you change the settings, some of that stuff there. And you can also remove it from here and you could call it whatever, timeline 2 if you wanted. So now that we have a timeline, this is our media bin. So unless you added the media like we showed in the other, you'll need to bring some media in. Now, once you're in here, you could hit Command I, and that's your import media function. Let's give this a second to pop up the box here. So then you can navigate to wherever your media is, highlight it, and hit open, and now that'll populate your bin. However, there's a couple other things you can do that's pretty beneficial. And we'll show you how to do that now. So what I find most video places do is have a folder structure that everyone uses. So here I made a folder called project name, and I put these subfolders under it, just to keep everything organized. And I went ahead and copied that, named it test project, and I threw some media in A cam and B cam, and under graphics here. So you can bring this whole folder structure in intact without having to drag and drop every single one. So if you have a project you're working on and you've already organized all your media based on your folder, you just grab that folder, drag it into your master bin here, and drop it. And now inside the master bin, we got the test project folder, and we can navigate all these subfolders just by up and down arrow. So now we have A cam. We could either make a timeline out of all our media, or we can combine it all. So let's go A cam, select all, right click. You could say new timeline with selected clips, but that'll say, what do you want this new timeline to be called? Or you could just say insert selected clips into timeline. It'll bring it down in the order that it is inside the bin. And that's how you can add media straight to your timeline, add your bins to your media pool. And another thing I like to do is, so we have timeline 1 here in the master bin, but I like to have a little more organization. So I'll say Command N over here. And it's actually Option Shift N, makes a new bin. I want to make a timelines bin and move the timeline to it, just so when I'm here in the master bin, it's not living inside one of the other cameras or down here by itself. And as I showed you in the last tutorial, if we have smart bins enabled, we always have the timelines being copied under here. And I will show you how to do stacked timelines in another module. So I'll see you guys there.